I continue with the crypto track of Hack the Box. The next challenge is called Los Modulus. It's an RSA encryption. I went ahead and downloaded the files. Um, it gives a zip file called Los Modulus. So I unzip the Los Modulus file using the password Hack the Box. The zip file contains a Python file challenge and an output txt. So here is the Python script. It starts with this flag, which is opened up from flag.txt. In this challenge, we are going backwards. We are trying to find out the flag ourselves. So this code as it is will not work because it will ask for the flag. We'll fix that, but let's continue with this constructor here. We have this PQEND calculation. So let me use half of the screen to show the Wikipedia link, okay, about RSA. Well, on this Wikipedia link, there are step-by-step procedures. In fact, that's what we are following here. So in order for us to get this encryption, decryption for RSA algorithm, the first step is choosing two distinct prime numbers, P and Q. In here, we are getting a prime number with a bit size, the digit size of 512. Say new file Python. Okay, so let's see what it means for us in here. Let's call the binary number and have this number as an octet. So we have all ones and 8 bits. So if I print out the binary number, I'll have all ones. If I convert it to integer, so I is my integer, so I use the integer function here. So I use this bin number, or binary number, and it is in base 2. I'll convert it to integer and print I should give us 255. So basically, if you are using an octet, an 8-bit long string, the maximum integer you can get is 255. In this challenge, however, it is just getting 2 random digits, 2 random prime numbers with a bit size of 512. Now the next step is, so E is given the exponent term in the public key. E is given as 3. Let me show you this from the Wikipedia. So it says typical value for E is 2 to the power 16 plus 1. And the smallest and the fastest possible value for E is 3. And it will mean less security in the settings. Well, it makes sense because it's a computation intense calculation. So if you use the exponent term, a small number, you are probably running the code much faster than a larger E, but on the contrary side, so you are compromising on the security. This code, this encryption becomes more susceptible against hacking. So that's the trade-off here. All right, so the next step is N here. N is the modulus, both for the public and private key. It is P times Q. So P times Q, good. And the next step is D. D is the is on the private key and it's never to be distributed. And the calculation for D is I think here. Hold on, okay, here. It is inverse E, inverse operation for E, and it is an arithmetic operation, so in mode phi n or lambda n. So let's talk about this lambda n phi n first. So what we are doing here is called modular multiplicative inverse. And we are basically calculating this lambda or phi. In this example, lambda and phi can be assumed that they are the same quantities. They are called the torsion values. If I go to the description, and I think I can use that here, for different n values, and from 1 all the way to very high numbers, you will see the table showing the lambda and phi values for that n value. Right. So let's work on a simple case. So let's say n is 8. So n is 8. So what is the phi value of n? That's the question for us. So the procedure is very straightforward. So it is n. And let's call it k's. We will write down the k values. These are positive integers less than n, equal to or less than n. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. So we write them down. And we will compare these k values one by one with the n value. If the k value and the n value, if they have the only common factor of 1, in other words, if the k value and a values are co-primes, they have no factor other than 1, we keep the number. If not, we erase the number. So 8 and 8, they are not co-primes because they have common factors of 4, 2, 8. So it is gone. 7 and 8 are co-primes, so they have nothing unique other than a factor of 1. 6 and 8, they have common factor of 2, so this is eliminated. 4 again has a factor of 2, and 2 has that. So the total number of the case where the common factor with n is only 1, the number of these values, the count of those integers is 4. So phi of 8 is 4. So 8 is n here, phi of 8 is 4. We got it correctly. All right. So we can repeat this for another value. Let's do it for 9. So phi 9. So we need to get the phi 9, and that is 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we'll compare the k values with n value one by one. And here 9 and 9 are not co-primes. 8 co-prime, 7 co-prime, 6, they have common factor of 3, and 3 have common factor of 3 here. So if you do the comparison, this time you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers for phi of 9. So number of phi of 9 is 6. We got that. Well, this calculation seems a bit confusing or difficult for different n values, but in fact, for n values that are prime numbers such as 13, the phi value calculation is very straightforward, because what you will do is you will write down the k values one by one, and you will see that other than the first value, which is itself, all others are co-primes with respect to n. So this phi of 13 is basically 12. So if you generalize it here, down here, if n is a prime number, then phi of n equals n minus 1. So if you can define n as q and p, as in here on this modulus calculation, let's see where does it lead us to. So p of n equals phi of q and p. And remember, q and p are, as I can show you over here, are two distinct prime numbers. And we discussed about this prime number case. For the prime numbers, the phi value is just one less. So phi of q times p can be is equal to phi is equal to phi of q times phi of p, and phi of q is q minus 1, and phi of p is p minus 1. So basically, this q minus 1 times p minus 1 is phi value of n. So I go back to the Wikipedia here, and I get the same response mentioned: phi of n, p minus 1, and q minus 1. So what we do here is this inverse modular multiplicative inverse calculation. We have this D is the modular multiplicative inverse of this E, so E to the power 1, and mod of phi n, and that is the phi n. Just a modular arithmetic operation. And then we have the encryption and decryption formula. They take the data in bytes format, and what they do here is, I can show you, they do this hex operation. So this is the data in bytes format. If you do this hex method, it converts the bytes into hexadecimal numbers. And we know that hexadecimal numbers are in base 16. If you want to convert it to integers, we take these hex numbers and use base 16 conversion, and that's our processed plain text for the encryption case. To get the ciphertext, we just follow the calculation here, where the C is for the ciphertext and M is the PT, which is the plain text. It's a power calculation. There are three components: base, which is the plain text, it is in the integer form, and then to the power E, the exponent term, and then this mod n calculation here, mod n, and this power calculation will give us the ciphertext CT. That's what we follow here, CT. And then finally, we convert the integers into bytes. And when we are doing that, we are following this big ending encoding. That means the data is stored in from left to right fashion. That's really what big ending really means. That's the presentation of the data in the algorithms. All right. So if we go here, you see this main function. Now we have an instance called crypto, and what we do is we take this and I'm sorry. So we take this flag, which is the flag txt. We first no, we first a little bit confused here. Just give me 1 second. We encrypt the flag using this encryption function, and we do this hex operation, which is changing the string into a hex numbers. And this, we do that, this byte string will be converted to numbers, hex numbers. And let's look at the output here. These are all hex numbers, right? So I'll take it and come back to this challenge here. And now I'll make it bigger. All right. So I need to first remove this flag. Control K, Control C. Okay, I need to remove this flag commands so that the code runs. Right now it runs smoothly. We don't really need this new terminal here. All right, we'll run it. Okay, so that code runs. We don't really need the flag. We will go capture the flag by reversing the process. So reversing the process, I think we can start with this using this unhexify command, unhexify. And oh, hold on. First, we need to write down the final outcome, which is this end return value of this encryption file, and I can call it as output. I copied it from this out file, it's a string. So here, that's the output file. So what I will do first is I will use this unhexify, and I will take this output file, and then here we have this encryption process going through it. So we will be using this decryption. So this instance crypto decryption on that. And then let's see if I get an error message. Okay, no, it works. I need to have this value associated to an object. Let's call it clear text. Clear text. Well, this clear text, let me run up here. So I need to print out this clear text. Okay, I print out this clear text here. So the clear text is in bytes format, right? Because here what we do is we converted this integer to a byte string. So our final returning value is in bytes. And I think I have to decode it. And if I do this decode using the default decoding option, which is a UTF-8, I'm getting this error, the flag here. Copy it. And I go to the example, so the lab, submit the flag. I'll call that 3 and try it. Okay, that worked. We got it. Now, one thing that I found out over the internet is this decode here is using UTF-8. That's the default decoding codec, let's call it. But in some cases, it's possible to use other decoding options. I've heard this CP437, which is compatible with Python 2 and Python 3 can be useful, or Latin 1 can be useful. So it all depends on what to include on the clear text basically. Because if you use this CP437, it includes all printable ASCII characters, even some Greek letters, and even some symbols. So it may have a more comprehensive list of characters. Anyways, that's all about this challenge. Thanks for your time.